You're never truly alone, even when no one else is in the room. Right now, some part of your brain is scanning for threats. That instinct is ancient, and it's not a glitch. It's leftover survival software, and it's still running today. Thousands of years ago, that system had a partner, a four-legged, sharp-eared, twitchy-nosed partner watching the darkness for you. The choice your ancestors made about that partner still shapes your life. Here's the wild part you've never really considered. You didn't choose to trust dogs. Your ancestors did. They handed you a relationship you never actually chose yourself. It was survival, quietly dressed up as companionship. And you've been living inside that decision your entire life. There's a concept in evolutionary biology called commensal selection. It describes animals that essentially domesticate themselves around human settlements. Wolves weren't tamed in some careful, controlled laboratory setting. They got tamed in trash heaps, near ancient flickering campfires. A famous study out of Duke University found something strange. The friendliest wolves, not the smartest ones, won the genetic lottery. Friendliness, more than intelligence, became the ultimate survival advantage there. Think about that for a second, because it's strange. Somewhere in the Paleolithic, being chill mattered more than being clever. Sound familiar at all from your own social circles today? That's basically how your group chat actually works, honestly. The loud, aggressive guy eventually gets muted by everyone else. The easygoing friend keeps getting invited back, again and again. Now picture the actual danger your ancestors faced every single night. No streetlights, no locks, no security cameras anywhere nearby. Just darkness, and whatever might be moving inside that darkness. Humans have surprisingly bad night vision, compared to most predators around us. Our hearing is mediocre too, especially while we're deep asleep. We were, biologically speaking, sitting ducks once the sun disappeared. Wolves, meanwhile, had incredible hearing and serious motion detection skills. They could smell a threat from hundreds of meters away easily. So here's the trade your ancestors stumbled into, almost accidentally. Wolves got slow meat, meaning easy scraps and leftover bones. Humans got an early warning system that also happened to have teeth. It wasn't friendship, not at first, not even close. It was a brutal, practical exchange of basic survival resources. Calories traded for security, scraps traded for safety, an ancient business deal. This is basically your modern security system, if you think about it. You lock the door, maybe set an alarm, check a camera feed. Your ancestors had a living, breathing, growling alarm system instead. One that also occasionally curled up and licked their face. There's a second framework worth knowing here as well. Psychologists call it social buffering, the calming effect of trusted presence. Just having another living being nearby lowers your stress hormones noticeably. Your nervous system literally relaxes when it senses it's not alone. Ancient humans didn't understand the neuroscience, but they absolutely felt it. Sleeping next to a watchful dog meant deeper, genuinely safer rest. Less cortisol pumping through their veins. More actual restorative sleep overall. Better decision-making the next day, simply because they'd actually rested. Dogs weren't just guards standing watch. They were sedatives wrapped in fur. There's actually a third piece to this puzzle worth mentioning briefly. Anthropologists call it the extended phenotype. Traits that extend beyond an organism's own body. A dog's senses essentially became an extension of the human nervous system itself. Your ancestors weren't just gaining a companion. They were upgrading their own biology. It's like strapping on night vision goggles, except the goggles had a heartbeat. And this upgrade didn't stop at hearing or smell, either. Dogs could read human body language with strange, almost unsettling accuracy. They picked up on fear, tension, and excitement faster than other humans could. That meant an extra layer of social information, running alongside the physical alarm system. Two overlapping forms of intelligence, working together inside one small camp. Now let's crash this ancient pattern into your actual daily life. You scroll your phone right before bed, almost every single night. Some unconscious part of your brain is still checking for danger. Notifications, comments, messages. It's the exact same old vigilance circuit firing. Except now there's no real predator hiding anywhere in the dark. Here's where it gets genuinely unsettling. So stick with me for a second. Your brain still runs ancient threat software on completely modern hardware. It evolved expecting to outsource vigilance to a trusted companion nearby. Without that companion present, your brain never fully manages to power down. That's part of why so many people sleep terribly in modern life. You're missing the biological alarm system your ancestors once relied on completely. This is the midpoint twist, and honestly, it's a fairly big one. Dogs weren't just protection from predators. They were a sleep technology too. A literal piece of biological infrastructure built for the human nervous system. Without them, early humans would have stayed dangerously and chronically exhausted instead. Exhausted humans make worse decisions, hunt poorly, and tend to die younger. In other words, dogs may have saved humanity through rest, not teeth. And rest, it turns out, shaped almost everything that came after it. Better rested humans had sharper memories and made fewer fatal mistakes daily. Some researchers even argue this extra rest fueled bigger leaps in early cooperation. A well-rested tribe plans better, hunts smarter, and survives longer than an exhausted one. Let's slow things down and actually look at the mechanism behind this. Imagine your nervous system as a hypersensitive smoke detector inside your house. It's constantly testing the air around it for any sign of danger. Without backup, it can never fully relax into trusting the silence. With a second detector nearby, like a dog senses, it finally relaxes. That's essentially what social buffering does inside your brain. Quietly and constantly, the dog becomes an outsourced threat detection device, freeing up your own mind. That's the one technical term genuinely worth defining clearly right here. Social buffering simply means a companion calming your body's stress response directly. It's not magic, it's measurable, hormonal, and deeply biological in nature. Lower cortisol, a slower heart rate, and an easier transition into deep sleep. Researchers have actually measured this effect in modern households with real dogs. People with dogs nearby during stressful tasks show lower blood pressure spikes. Their bodies recover from stress faster than people without an animal present. It's the same ancient circuitry, just measured now with modern lab equipment. Even eye contact between humans and dogs triggers a small oxytocin release. That's the same bonding hormone released between a parent and a newborn baby. Your body, in other words, treats your dog like genuine biological family. Now zoom out for a second, because this pattern never actually disappeared. Humans constantly outsource vigilance to whatever systems happen to surround them. Security guards, smoke alarms, group chats, even roommates count as examples here. We're wired to feel safer whenever a trusted sentinel is nearby. Dogs were simply the original, four-legged version of this exact same pattern. Here's where a broader design flaw in modern civilization starts to show. We build technology hoping it will replace presence, but it rarely actually works. A camera can record a break-in, but it can't comfort you afterward. An app can log your sleep data, but it can't lower your heart rate. We've quietly replaced living vigilance with passive, disconnected substitutes almost everywhere now. And strangely enough, our overall stress levels haven't actually gone down at all. Maybe that's why dog ownership keeps climbing in modern, statistically safe cities. Crime rates might genuinely be lower, but our nervous systems are still anxious. People aren't just getting dogs purely for protection from actual intruders anymore. They're chasing that ancient feeling of outsourced vigilance and quiet calm instead. It's not really about burglars anymore, if you really think about it. Even office culture quietly echoes this same ancient pattern. Oddly enough, companies bring therapy dogs into stressful workplaces during high-pressure deadlines now. Employees report feeling calmer almost instantly, without changing anything else around them. That's not a coincidence. That's thousands of years of evolutionary wiring firing. Hospitals use the exact same trick with trained therapy dogs for patients. Heart rates drop, anxiety scores fall, recovery times occasionally even shorten slightly. None of that is random. It's ancient hardware being switched back on. Here's the perspective flip, the one detail that should genuinely stick with you. Petting a dog isn't just some cute, casual, throwaway habit you have. It's literally hacking a survival system that's thousands and thousands of years old. Every time a dog curls up beside you at night, something ancient activates. Your nervous system registers a watchful presence nearby and quietly stands down. You're not just relaxing in that moment. You're running ancestral software correctly, for once. So the next time your dog perks up suddenly at some random noise, watch closely. That tiny reaction is a direct, living link to your ancestors' nightly survival. It's a silent contract, written in raw instinct, passed down for millennia. Calories for protection, companionship for calm, an unbroken evolutionary handshake repeated nightly. Humans didn't just domesticate dogs thousands of years ago, by the way. In a very real, biological sense, dogs quietly domesticated human sleep itself. And if outsourcing your safety to another species sounds wild, just wait. Because what humans outsourced next involved fire, then walls, and eventually each other.